It's a sad reality in many dioceses in America that church attendance is on the decline. So much so that to save money, many have made the difficult decision to close small churches and consolidate parishes into larger regional ones. That can be a sad outcome for people whose families have spent generations at the neighborhood parish.
More than a decade before this story aired on EWTN, it was announced that a number of parishes in the Batesville Deanery in the Archdiocese of Indianapolis would be reorganized. Some parishes would be merged with other parishes. Some parishes would be closed altogether. 4 rather historic parishes, less than 10 miles distance from one another in Dearborn County, were told that they would be merged into a single parish, abandoning the historic church buildings that they loved in favor of a single, new, centrally located structure. Parishioners at each of these 4 churches were crestfallen at the news. Some were but the latest of many generations of their families to worship at their parish. Faithful and committed Catholics, they desperately wanted to continue in the church building they were raised in and were raising their children in. When the decision was made in 2013 to close the 4 parishes, attendance was down and there was little cash on hand at any of the 4 churches. So, what became of these 4 parishes? MassTransit recently visited. Here's what we found. The answer to that question? They are flourishing. In August of 2015, Archbishop Joseph Tobin installed Father Jonathan Meyer as shepherd of the new flock that had been christened All Saints Parish more than a year earlier. On the heels of meetings with parishioners from each parish, prayers went up, plans were made, parishioners came together, and Father Meyer approached the Archdiocese with a bold plan. That plan was approved, and God's blessings began to flow. Today, that flow is a raging river that has preserved the 4 original parish campuses, merging the members into a single parish family. Father Jonathan Meyer was born in Michigan. The Meyer family then lived in Wisconsin before settling in Indiana. He entered seminary in 1997 and was ordained a priest in 2003. God blessed Father Meyer with fertile vision and inexhaustible energy for the renewal of parish life through creative and innovative ministries. A priest for more than 2 decades, his gifts and resolute faith were just what All Saints needed. Father Meyer described to MassTransit both the concept of All Saints Parish and some of the critical decisions made that led to the blessings of today.
The concept of All Saints is 4 historic church buildings and 4 historic church communities that were forged into one. So All Saints is formally St. Joseph, St. John, St. Paul, and St. Martin. Those were individual parishes that then became one parish, one purpose, one mission, and through that serving in this local area in a very deep, profound, and creative way. All Saints today is a very strong parish that is rooted in a very clear purpose, and that is forming the saints that God is calling us to be by providing faithful teaching, authentic worship, and compassionate service. When we look at All Saints Parish, and in these days, we look at a parish that is very strong in faithful teaching, whether it be the way that we do catechesis as the Good Shepherd, whether it be our youth ministry program, our middle school program, whether it be our high school youth ministry, whether it be our young adult ministry, whether it be our adult faith formation. We catechize, and we catechize faithfully, we catechize with joy. Our parish is also deeply, deeply liturgical. We participate in authentic worship. When one comes to Mass here at All Saints, they have a sense of reverence, of devotion, a sense that God is here. We know that He's here in the sacraments. We know that for a fact. He's in our tabernacle. He's in our perpetual adoration chapel. But our attention to the liturgical celebration truly is an experience of the divine, but also an experience of the divine entering into us and bringing us together in deep unity. Whether that be through our joyful celebrations of baptisms, our reverent celebrations of funerals. From womb to tomb, we are a parish that focuses on authentic Catholic worship. As we know, here at All Saints, at a given Sunday Mass, you might see 20 plus altar servers. You'll see a church that is often standing room only, with all age demographics present. There'll be music, there'll be participation from the laity in a beautiful way. We have so many ministries, whether it be Our Lady's Sodality, whether it be the work that we do with our local food pantries, whether it be our miscarriage ministry, whether it be our bereavement meals and our funeral meals. In a very true sense, our purpose is fulfilled in faithful teaching, authentic worship, and compassionate service. But it doesn't stop there. We as a parish are very concerned about how faithful teaching, authentic worship, and compassionate service is making results. So we talk about nourishing the engaged, inspiring the unengaged, and inviting all to Christ Church. One of the great examples of this is Ars Cafe and Meeting House, the coffee shop that we have opened to intentionally inspire the unengaged and invite all to Christ Church. It is through conversation, it is through people spending time with each other that we bring people into relationship with Christ. Our purpose is what we are about, and what we are about is about our purpose. Us fulfilling our purpose and making our purpose known, proclaimed, and lived out is what is making All Saints Parish a powerful and stronghold in the Archdiocese of Annapolis, in Dearborn County, and God willing beyond.
In 2023, Father John Hollowell was assigned to All Saints Parish as priest in Solidum, sharing pastoral responsibilities with Father Meyer. Father Meyer and Father Hollowell were longtime best friends well before they were assigned to work together at All Saints. Meeting them, the brotherly bond becomes obvious. They must have rejoiced learning that they would serve All Saints together. Here is some of what Father Hollowell had to say about All Saints Parish.
All Saints is an amazing parish. I actually helped move Father Jonathan Meyer in when he was assigned down here, sort of at the last minute. He was given a really short turnaround time to leave his previous assignment and to come down here. And so I actually helped move him into All Saints when he first arrived. It's an amazing parish. It's really unique, I think, across the country, just in the sense of the feeling of the community, and he's done a really good job. The parish and the parishioners have done a really good job. There was 4 pretty distinct communities when he first got down here, and they didn't always agree. All 4 communities under his leadership did a really good job, and so again, it's just a beautiful story of people rallying around a common vision.
In addition to its 2 pastors, the clergy team at All Saints includes 2 deacons, Deacon Bob Decker and Deacon Mark Schmidl. Deacon Schmidl outlined for us the challenge that had to be overcome to forge the 4 parishes into a single family of God.
It was actually very difficult when we first came together as a parish. There was conversation about tearing down these beautiful historic churches and building one central, very large church. And it was very difficult. There was a whole lot of stress. There were people who were just devastated. my wife being one of them, because her mother was married in this church. We were married in this church. Eventually our daughter was married in this church. There's a lot of that beautiful tradition and family in all four of what we would now call the campuses. And the big turning point in all of this coming together was Father Meyer approaching the Archbishop and saying, can we come together as a parish and just leave these buildings open? Which is, I would say, unique. I don't know of any other situation like that, certainly providential. I'll paraphrase, the Archbishop's response was, okay, you can do that as long as you maintain the buildings. But that's really the beginning of what brought us together.
No fewer than 20 parishioners shared their thoughts with MassTransit on their beloved All Saints Parish. Some are longtime members. Some are comparatively new to All Saints. Each and every one love their church home.
We're just so blessed, I think, the way things have turned out. I mean, 10 years ago, we wouldn't have foreseen this. It's amazing how things just work out. And the four churches, the campuses, and I think it still gives people that were here then a piece of, hey, we still have our parish in some regards, but we've been blessed with so many resources now that I think it's just a tremendous blessing.
When Father Meyer came here, I can remember being up in the choir loft looking down and seeing empty pews, mostly older people, and he is such a good listener. He went around, spoke to people. I think the intent when he came was to close these beautiful churches down and build one. Not only did that not happen, but within a pretty short period of time, he took each campus and totally restored them to the beauty that they are right now.
I just like it here the best. I mean, we always had pretty good priests, and I just enjoyed it here more than anywhere else. I think everybody gave plenty, and that's why you got everything remodeled and taken care of now. I just like it all, period.
When you walk in, you see a combination of young couples with their children. It's just such a beauty to see these small children, toddlers, infants. And then you see the elderly. You see our senior members who have been so supportive of all that we've done here.
The first thing that I think people notice is, oh wow, this is a very reverent parish and it's a very reverent Mass. And people are really moved by that. You really feel Jesus and you feel really close in particular to the sacraments when you come here.
When I come to a daily Mass and there's like 100 people, young and old, like it's not just white hairs, as some people would call them, it's young adults and youth. It really does just make you feel like you're all just worshiping together.
There's a time on Mass all the time. I mean, there's lots of Mass options, daily Mass, nightly Mass, weekend Masses, and the sermons that Father Meyer give and Father Hallwell are very enlightening.
There's just something about the way the Mass is said here that I truly feel like God is here, and there's no place like All Saints when it comes to Mass.
The pastors and the community in general is just, you can tell that they're very faithful and they love to worship God in general.
There's just a really great sense of community here, especially during our festivals in the summer. There are people in the community that come and help and work at these festivals that don't go to our church. They aren't Catholic, but they definitely are welcome.
The people at All Saints Parish are always so nice. They're uplifting. The priests, they always want to hear what you have to say. And I just love going to church here.
I picture all 4 of the campuses here to be
very holy and very reverent. And the community that we have here, it's not just a community of people that you only see on Sundays and then you go home and you don't see them anymore. They're your family.
I am not a huge extrovert. I'm kind of a more quiet person, a lot of times socially speaking, and I have not felt really that way here at All Saints. We're currently in a small group with several other families, and it has been very rewarding and very, very fulfilling to be able to meet with other groups, and we feel very comfortable here. This community is truly thriving.
Growing up in All Saints Parish is pretty awesome because just of the community and kind of how alive it is, especially with the youth. Also, when you're 7 years old, you get to become an altar server, and I think that was super special to me.
Many of the young families here, they are coming from families who have been part of this community for a long time. They're choosing to stay. They've been raised in this community. They've seen everything for what it is. The fullness of the faith has been shared with them without reservation, without having to water it down or treat them like they wouldn't understand it or accept it, and they've chosen to stay.
I think one reason that like a young family should want to be here at All Saints is that we have so many other young families, which is not always common in every Catholic church or just any church in general. You come to an All Saints Mass, be it even 7:30 in the morning, and there are babies crying and kids running around, and it's totally just part of the experience. This is a place for everyone, from the newborns to the elderly. Like, everyone in the community is welcome and invited here. This is a place that you can fit in.
The parishioners at All Saints were more than willing to tell us about their pastors.
Our priest, Father Meyer, and Father Hollowell, they're awesome priests because when I was 7, we were allowed to become altar boys. So I was really nervous when I first started. He's the one who gave me courage to go up here and serve by the altar. And Father Hollowell, when you're talking to him, you can really tell like God's been in his life, because when he had cancer, that didn't make him stop. It made him like a better Catholic. When you're talking to Father Hollowell and you'll ask him questions and stuff, you can tell that, like, what I feel like he always knows the answers.
We have been so blessed with Father Meyer, Father Hollowell, and to have priests that we can truly call Father, and they are approachable. You can go to them, whatever the need. It doesn't matter your age, young or old. They are truly Father to us, and we grow closer to God because of that.
Father Meyer certainly brings a different aura around him, and you can tell that in his sermons, and you can even tell it with the servers when they serve. I think last Sunday or the Sunday before, there were 23 servers, and it was just amazing. And Father Hollowell brings a different perspective. He brings a real to-the-point sermon, and very reverent, and you can tell he's very thoughtful in his words.
He is a whirlwind. I jokingly call him the Holy Ghost because he just zip, 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 zip everywhere he goes. But he, in all my years, he to me is the holiest priest that I've ever seen.
Father Hollowell is one of those guys. He walks in a room and you just feel this presence of holiness. He's an amazing guy. They both really are. Father Meyer's combination of wisdom and energy is pretty impressive. There was just such a pivotal moment, when he asked the Archbishop if we could keep the buildings open, and really brought us together.
Faithful teaching, authentic worship, and compassionate service. Those are the fundamental tenets that lifted All Saints Parish from decline a decade ago and transformed it into the thriving family of God we found during our visit. This is Gordon Crow, host of MassTransit. It would take a long time to fully outline the ways All Saints is blessing the many communities they serve today. The ministries accessible at All Saints are vast in number and in scope. Faithful teaching at All Saints reaches all age groups, starting with preschool at All Saints Catholic Academy. They offer Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, a wonderful faith formation program for children ages 3 to 12. One of the more visible ministries is Altar Boys. Young males, starting at age 7, can learn to serve at Mass, be exposed to opportunity for deeper spiritual growth, and perhaps discern a vocation in serving the Lord. They have dynamic youth ministries for junior high, high school, and beyond. And their Catholic young adult ministry has opportunities for adults ages 18 to 39. On Thanksgiving each year, All Saints hosts the Gobble Wobble, a 5K walk-run that supports food ministries in the region. The Kingsmen group offers men the formation and accountability they seek. Rooted in Ephesians 6:10 through 18, the annual E6 Catholic Men's Conference is a powerful one-day conclave that hosts prominent Catholic speakers who deliver inspiring talks. This seems like a ministry that would warrant traveling to Southeast Indiana to observe, participate, and replicate in other dioceses. All Saints offers a 40-plus singles ministry for men and women who are single, divorced, and widowed. At All Saints, a compassionate care team ministry helps those going through tough times who may be in need of financial assistance or other resources. One of the more active groups at All Saints is the Lady Sodality, a group of caring Christian women that share in the mission and vision of All Saints Parish. Mary's Way, an outgrowth of the Lady Sodality, is a Catholic women's organization whose mission is to deepen love and faith in Jesus Christ by following the perfect example of his mother, the Blessed Virgin Mary. Its activities include dinners with inspirational speakers, prayer, fellowship, and service to others. Pax Christi is the All Saints ministry that brings Holy Communion to shut-ins, to the hospitalized, and to those in hospice. The prayer shawl ministry at All Saints consists of a group of individuals who crochet shawls and blankets for those in need of extra prayers, love, and support. The bereavement ministry provides compassionate care and grief support to All Saints Parish families at the loss of a loved one. All Saints Pro-Life ministry promotes the dignity of all human life from conception to natural death. The miscarriage ministry at All Saints works alongside the Heaven's Gain ministries to help women and their families who have experienced miscarriages, embracing mom and baby with care, compassion, and dignity. As with every dynamic and growing parish MassTransit has encountered, All Saints is blessed with a staff that labors, most often behind the scenes, to make sure that what needs to be done is done on time, professionally, and always in ways that glorify the Lord. In addition to faithful teaching, authentic worship, and compassionate service, MassTransit discovered a people who are passionate about their Catholic faith, determined to help not just each other, but anyone in need. And they are just downright friendly people. If you live anywhere near Dearborn County, Indiana, and you are seeking a profound relationship with God, I would encourage you to visit All Saints Parish and worship with them. If you do visit any of the 4 campuses, be sure to tell them you saw them on MassTransit. If you are nowhere near any of the 4 church campuses in Southeast Indiana, but still want to experience what's happening at All Saints, you can visit what parishioner Cindy Hilty called their 5th campus, which is the All Saints YouTube channel. It has almost 50,000 subscribers, 2,200 videos, and they're approaching 6 million views. Thank you, Father Jonathan Meyer, for inviting MassTransit to All Saints Parish. Thank you to all of the wonderful All Saints parishioners who visited with us. Thanks to all who are watching this episode of MassTransit. It would be a big help to our channel if you would punch the like button below, leave a comment, share this video with friends and family, and subscribe to our channel. Subscribing costs nothing, but it helps our lay apostolate tremendously. Most importantly, please pray for us, and please know that we are praying for you. God bless you.